If you're a business owner struggling with project management and managing your employees, in this video, I'm going to lay out exactly how I lay out a project and how I delegate it to the rest of my team. Okay, so here is what the project is. I am basically going to be moving the HireUA blog from our current setup to a new setup. And the reason why is because currently the HireUA blog runs on WordPress, but we use lead pages for our landing page. Now, lead pages say that they're coming out with a blogging feature soon, but I don't know when it's going to be. When I started this a few months ago, I put the blog on WordPress, but then I lost some of the lead pages capabilities like A/B testing and having a full site. So this is like what our site looks like now, hire-ua.com. And then I can't even put a menu with a landing page on lead pages to this page, which is the blog. So the goal is to move back to a lead pages site, which allows you to have a full website like this with the bar and have multiple pages within it. But I want the blog to look like this site. And I didn't find this before. If I had, I would have just gone with it. But the goal was basically this. It's called drop-in blog, which embeds their blog and their full CMS system onto your existing website. And here's what it looks like when it's done. So you see, you click right here. Here it is. It's all there. This is not totally formatted yet, but it's easy and it's in line with the rest of the site. So now though, the problem is we have 50 or so posts on the WordPress blog and they all need to be moved to the new installation. They need to have the proper formatting, the proper links. Everything needs to go smoothly. As the business owner, this is obviously a task or a project that I've developed and I've made the decision that this needs to be done. And it's not a good use of my time though. Like obviously I had to find the solution. I had to install it. I had to do the first couple to make sure everything's good. But now with the remaining 40 whatever posts, it's a bad use of my time to actually do the migration because it's monotonous and it's repetitive and it's not going to directly impact the growth of the business. I would estimate that it's going to take roughly 20 to 30 minutes per post. So on average, that's going to be like, 1,500 minutes. How many hours of work is that? So I'm going to say it's 25 hours of work and I've done probably a couple. So this is 25 hours that I'm going to delegate out to my team and take back for myself. It's almost a week of work. It's over half a week of work if you look at it by day. So it's important that I give the proper training and that I ultimately move everything that way. So here's how I laid out my very, very, very basic project management. This is not a complex project. So if it was more complex, I'd probably use a slightly different template to lay this out, but this is pretty straightforward. So first off, the decision to make this move had to actually be made, and I made that myself. I need to create logins for all the relevant members of the team who are going to be part of this migration. So I've got Marina, who's my social media manager. She's going to be in charge of this because this falls under her purview. It's, not social media, but it's media. It's part of the content schedule. So this one is going to go to her because it just makes sense. She will work likely with Irina, who is our admin. And then we have someone who also does some work like this named Tom that she can use if needed. And then Anastasia is our content writer. What makes sense is, of course, all future articles to be put on the new platform instead of going to the old one. So that's like the first thing is create the logins. And I have to do that. I need to make logins for everybody else. DIB stands for drop-in blog. WordPress stands for WordPress. So first easy step, train Anastasia to write all of her new posts in the new blog instead of using the old one. Like this just makes sense, right? So anything in the future, she writes roughly 8 articles a month. So starting from, Monday, that's probably the date I'm going to have a meeting with her. She'll write everything there. It is a pretty straightforward thing. I don't think she'll need much training, just a very basic guideline on formatting and images. From there, we need to make sure that we have a backup. I would likely, this whole staging site is not our main site. So we're going to be down potentially for a couple hours or maybe even a day, like depending on how long it takes the DNS to propagate. So ideally, I'll make this move on a weekend. First off, we have to make sure that everything that we already have, this one, is backed up. This is a technical thing. Only I know how to do it. So I have to do this part. I need to then move the first couple of articles, and it should be, we have a variety of articles. When we make a YouTube video, we have a certain post format, and then we have like longer form stuff like this is a long form article that Anastasia wrote. So that all has to basically be moved over. And so I need to make templates of how people are going to do this. So I need to move the first 3 articles and make training videos on that. And I think that will be enough so that everybody else can execute on it. So again, this one is my task. And my goal is to do this, by early next week. So I'm just going to put August 15th on all these. Now, the owner of the project is going to be Marina. So I've tagged her and I will brief her on this on our meeting next week. I've also added my executive assistant, Victoria, to this because she will likely be involved on some level and will at least supervise the project and bring me any updates if they get stuck. So at the end of the day, though, it's going to be who owns the project. It's going to be Marina. She's going to be the one who is responsible for making sure it gets completed. Actual migration will likely be split between Marina, Irina, and Tom. So Marina can divvy up those hours as she sees fit. Like I said, it's probably somewhere between 20 and 25. And again, I'm not doing any of those. From there, testing to make sure all the links are correct. I've built out basically this page of old URLs and new URLs, and we will basically go through one by one and check that. More than likely, it will be my executive assistant and myself who will do a final check on that. And then finally, we will flip the website over to the full domain, hire-ua.com, with the full lead pages website with the menu bar at the top. And then finally, what constitutes done? So in this case, it's all articles migrated, all links working properly, and the new website up and online with the proper domain, with DNS propagated, everything. So basically, this project basically has a few parts. Like one, it's the initial training and the project creation itself. It's the actual migration of all the articles. And then it's all of the technical work, which we don't have a webmaster. We're not a company that makes changes to our website often other than the blog. So it's going to fall on me, and I have a technical background. So I'm capable of doing it. And that's easier than the time it would take to actually find someone to do this work. This is just easier for me to do. But I'm going to consider this done when all of those things are crossed off the list and everything looks flawless. Basically, that's how you lay out a project. It doesn't need to be some very, very complex thing. It can really be simple. Obviously, the more complex the project, the more robust your PM software is going to need to be, the more you're going to need to bring people in, the more details you're going to need to put. But I think in many cases, like this is sufficient, especially if you're like a smaller mid-sized business. Like you don't need to have some super complex thing that nobody even needs to go around or nobody knows how to navigate. You just need to make this. And you need to then just say, it's done. That's it. And then once all these columns are complete, then the project is done and everyone can be happy and go home. So I know a lot of business owners struggle with laying out projects, with delegating. I think the most important thing is to name the owner of the project, and you also need to specify like what constitutes done. If you do those two things and you put someone in charge and you say this project is done when this is what has happened, then I think you'll be much more likely to set yourself up for success. And you also need to just lay out the steps and look at what's going to take the most time, look at the stuff that only you can do, and ultimately say what's the big block of time and what is the most repetitive work that I can provide a training. It takes you maybe 30 minutes to an hour, make one training, and then you get 20 hours back. That's a pretty good trade in my book, and it's something that you should be doing in all aspects of your business. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a small, medium business owner looking to hire, go to hire-ua.com. We can embed pretty much any position into your business in just a matter of days. We have some absolutely fantastic candidates from Ukraine who including everyone I just talked about on the video itself, including the guy, Taras, who's making the video edits, and everybody does a fantastic job. We are a well-oiled machine that get projects like this done quickly, and we can show you how to do this in your business as well to take stuff off your plate so you can have more time for yourself or more time to focus on the higher leverage stuff in your business. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.